What is up guys, Davis here, and today we are going to be looking at a deck containing only one perfect guard that I used to get 10 wins in a row in rank fight. Now these rank fights were only in C tier rank, so of course this deck would probably not work in the higher tier ranks such as A or S or even legend rank, and you will need a few more perfect guards, but of course I thought it would be fun to show you guys this video anyways. So looking at this deck, of course our starting Vanguard is going to be Lizard Soldier Conroe. This is going to search out for the one perfect guard in our deck, as you can see here, and we run 4 critical triggers and 5 draws. That way we can apply pressure to our opponent while still having cards into our hand, either for defense or for offense on the next turn. We run 2 of the Dragon Monk Gojo. This is going to help search out for key cards that we need, or if we need to get rid of cards that we don't need and search for other cards, then we can use Gojo. 2 of the Kimnara, which can be used to retire any back row unit, and that comes in handy if you don't want them to boost any units. We run 4 of the Embodiment of Armor Bar. This is our strongest grade 1, which can also help get over the 21 power if you have a 13k unit, which I will show you guys in a second. And then we run 4 of the Joka, which gets a power boost if you retire a unit. We run 1 Berserk Dragon, which comes in handy for taking out the intercepts. It's only 2 counterblasts. We only have 1 in this deck because I could only find 1. We run 4 of the Dragon Knight Nehalem. This is our strongest grade 2. 4 of the Chain Attack Sutherland. This, just like Joka, gets plus 3000 if you retire a unit. 1 of the Flame Edge Dragon. This is going to help Soul Charge for the ability of Vortex Dragon, which could come in handy. It could also help with Blazing Flare Dragon. And then we have 3 of the Tejas. We can help snipe the back row or snipe the first starting Vanguard. And then in the grade 3s, we have 3 Dragonic Overlord, which could come in handy when we need it and we need to take out the rear guards. And it also gets plus 5000, so we can help get over the walls if you have a boosting unit. And then you have 1 Blazing Flare Dragon, because I only managed to find 1, but of course you might need a few more copies if you want. Dragon Monk Goku, this is our backup Vanguard, which can also retire if you drive check a grade 3, could also come in handy. And then we have the Dual Axe Arc Dragon, which is automatically 13k power when your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, which could come in handy if you place either Embodiment of Armor Bar to hit for 21, or if you put like a 7k behind it, like Joka, to hit 20, which is a perfect number if you want to get over the 10k or 11k Vanguards. And then we run 1 Exile Dragon in case they want to put a grade 3 in front of us and we want a free retire without having to pay any cost. We just retire that unit. 2 of the whoever that is, this is a 13k attacker. You counterblast 1 when it attacks and then it gets plus 2000 power. 3 Vortex Dragon, this is also a backup Vanguard. We can just Soul Charge, and this is a Mega Blast, so you can retire 3 units, which is good for abilities such as Blazing Flare, Chain Attack Sutherland, and Joka. And then our last card is going to be a 12k attacker, which if you have more rear guards than your opponent, then it gets plus 3000 power, so it's going to get up to 12,000 power. And if you put Bar behind him, he's going to be good for hitting 20k for the 10k Vanguards. So we are going to start this video here, and we are going to get into a fight here, and I believe we run into a Nova Grappler user. And then as you can see here, this is C3, so of course it's still in the lower ranks, and as I mentioned before, you will need more perfect guards in higher tier ranks. But looking here, we go against Nova Grapplers, and at first I was kind of scared because I didn't think I was going to win this one. It came really close, I think. So here we don't have any grade 3s, but of course we do go second, so we might draw into it. So I am going to get rid of 1 Kimnara. We don't need 2 in our hand because we already have 3 grade 1s in our hand. I wanted to search for maybe another grade 2, which would be great, and we did pull the Dragon Knight Nehalem, so we will see what he does here. He rides the Tough Boy, and of course he's going to call the Battle Riser into the rear guard. I'm not going to be able to snipe it or anything, so of course not having Tejas in our hand is okay. But it could come in handy later if maybe they pull out the Death Army guy, but we shall see, because I do not remember how this match went. And this guy did take a long time on his first turn, I will mention. So we do draw into Vortex Dragon, so we are safe, we are not going to get Great Stuck. Of course, I ride the bar, and I could have rode anyone else, but I wanted to save Kimnara and Joka as a combo, because if you retire a unit in the back row, Joka becomes a 10k, which helps hit cards like if you want to hit Nahalem or any other 10k rear guard, or if you want to hit the 10k Vanguard, you have a free attacker, and Joka is just not sitting there at 7k, he gets +3. So we get a heal trigger here, which we are now down 2 heal triggers, which kind of sucks, but we somehow managed to pull it through, and we do manage to force him to lose a Sentinel, which also comes in handy. And he is going to use that counterblast to get the Brutal Jack on the field. So he would probably get 2 attacks on this turn. Easy 2 attacks. And looking at my hand, I'm pretty sure I wanted to conserve my grade 2s, but we shall see. And he does not draw, or he does not place another rear guard. He could have easily placed another. And I do draw a critical trigger that is going to be 1 out of the 4 that we have so far. And of course, I know that if I get rid of Conroe too soon to search for a perfect guard, I'm not going to have anyone boosting, so one of 2 things, I could either place Joka, or not Joka, I'm sorry, I could place Kimnara right behind my Vanguard, or I could leave Conroe there. I do use Conroe's ability right now. I believe it's because we don't want to use Flame Edge to accidentally soul charge the perfect guard, so that was actually a good move on me. And I decide to place Kimnara. Or not Kimnara, I'm sorry, Joka. Which is actually not a bad idea, because if we use if we use Kimnara, I keep switching the two. If we use Kimnara to retire a unit, then we now have a 10k booster, which comes in real handy if you want to hit over those 10k, 20k, or 21k numbers. And in this case, since we do ride Vortex Dragon, since Vortex Dragon gets plus 2000 upon soul charge, we could probably hit the 22, which of course is not really necessary, but it comes in handy. So we'll see what he does here. He doesn't have any Assura Kaiser or any weapons here, so I feel a little bit more safe, but of course he could counterblast 1 and hit for 21. So if he needed to, he could counterblast 1, but if not, he could save his counterblast here. Oddly enough, he placed down a intercept, which does not really matter. Oh, I guess it does, because I do have a rear guard there. Never mind. And I don't get a drive trigger, so he is going to be able to attack without having to use his counterblast. No trigger revealed. Now on my turn, of course, I have to ride Vortex Dragon, because that's the only other grade 3 in our hand. And of course, our opponent now knows that we have, was that 1 heal trigger remaining, or maybe 2? 1 heal trigger remaining. But we still managed to come back. And we do soul charge the Dragonic Overlord, if that's what I saw. So of course, I'm going to need to get rid of that rear guard. So I might put down one of my chain attack Sutherlands, because I already have 2. So I do decide to put 1 down, and of course I put down the Nahalem. Now in my head, I'm thinking I could either get rid of that rear guard Death Metal Droid, or I could just leave it and attack the Vanguard. So here I'm going to attack with my Vanguard. And I do decide last minute to hold back on the Nahalem because I want to wait for my drive check. So of course I get a trigger, and then I give it to my Nahalem. Now here, I believe I go for the 5th damage. So we do have a 21 column, which we can still hit the Vanguard, which I'm probably gonna do, because he still has to get through my 2 intercepts, and I wouldn't... I feel like taking out the rear guard is unnecessary because he could just call more, so I'm pretty sure I go for the Vanguard here. Yes. So getting that trigger did come in handy, and then even if we didn't get that trigger, we would have hit that rear guard anyways, which means he would have to waste more cards in hand. And he does get a gold root tile onto the field, which means he could stand up a rear guard and get another attack. But I'm not sure that's going to work out for him because he does not put any boosters. And even if he does get his gold root tile attack off, even if he stands a rear guard, his rear guard probably would not be able to get any damage off unless he checked 2 triggers, of course. So he doesn't get a drive trigger here, and I do live with only 1 damage taken to me, and I do believe this might or might not be the last turn. And oddly enough, he does stand his rear guard. I thought this was a misplay on his part, or maybe he miscalculated, because he still wanted to counterblast. So if he had put a grade 1 behind that, he would have gotten another attack in if he wanted to do that. We do draw into our 4th heal trigger here, which is kind of rough, but I think it's okay. I think what I do here is I might have tried to go for game. No, I ride another. Oh, you know, I know what I did. I think I might have used my ability. Never mind, I only have Counterblast 3. So I do declare final turn. I don't even remember what I did. Oh, I know. I might have used Kimnara to get rid of a back row unit, and then that would get Joka to a 10k, and then that would get my Sutherland to a 12, so I can attack his rear guard with 1 rear guard, and then attack the Vanguard with the other rear guard, and then of course my my Vanguard column would be well over 20, and so in that case I would be able to hit twice. And at this moment I'm pretty confident he doesn't have too many perfect guards in his hand. He has 1, but of course I'm pretty sure he does not have another, so we go for the attack here. We do get a critical trigger, which almost does not matter, but we shall see. And it is going to be game here. So luckily we did not have to use that 1 perfect guard, but I still thought it'd be cool to share because this guy had definitely more than 1 perfect guard here. But of course he used 1. 1 went into the damage zone, and then the last one managed to be drive check on that last damage, so he had at least 3. So you can definitely win against opponents that have more perfect guards than you. It's a matter of, will you get it into your hand, or how you're gonna get it into your hand. The point is, even if your deck isn't as complete as you would like it to be, there are other ways to get around it, such as running more draw triggers so that you could possibly draw into your key card if you reveal a draw trigger, or you can run other cards that can either discard or draw a card, or maybe search for a card. There are other ways to search for key cards that you need. But of course, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys like this video, drop a like down below because your support is greatly appreciated. We'll catch you guys on the next video. But until then, we will see you guys next time. Bye.